In my previous video, I warned you about a better quality fake version of the Shure SM7B microphone that's even harder to spot. In fact, I recently purchased a third fake SM7B that looked almost identical to the real thing, even down to the inside wiring and color tone. While every detail I pointed out in my previous video for spotting a fake is fixed on this version, there is still an easy way to spot a fake, and it works for both the SM7B and the MV7. To easily spot a fake Shure microphone, simply give it a quick shake. If it's a fake, you'll feel the capsule move around. It will bounce around the metal filter, making it easy to hear. If you plug in the mic and give it a light shake, you'll also hear the capsule move around. Additionally, the capsule is easily removable and only held in place by the filter. The real SM7B uses high quality parts, and the capsule is secured and doesn't move at all. Don't be fooled by high quality fakes. Always be on the lookout for these easy tells to avoid getting scammed. Another way to spot a fake is to look for visible welds. The fakes usually have visible welds, sometimes 3 or 4, sometimes just a few. Also, if you see spacing between the metal filter, it's 100% fake. The real one has a perfect fit with nothing visible. The screws on the fake mic are different in size and quality. The screws on the fake are shorter and have a chrome finish, while the screws on the real one are larger and stick out when you unscrew them. The quality of the screws on the fakes is really bad as they easily strip. As I mentioned before, the inside of the fakes will have a black painted surface, while the real ones have a metal finish. Both of these mics side by side sound the same. However, the real one sounds way better, and the most significant difference is that the fakes tend to pick up more background noise. All fakes have a slightly boosted signal that mostly boosts the background noise. When it comes to durability, the fakes can't compare with the real one. Once you drop a fake or bump it against something, it will stop working. And the more you use it, the worse the quality gets. So here's the deal. I bought 3 of these microphones from different sellers, all claiming to be genuine. 2 were from eBay and 1 was from Walmart. I purchased one and found out it was fake, so I returned it and bought another. Same thing happened. But what's interesting is that all 3 had one particular telltale sign of being fake: a long sticking wire. Not only is it too long, but it's also a lot softer and bends more easily compared to the wire on the real mic. However, don't use this as your only indicator, as it can change. For example, I reviewed a cheaper version that had the same size and thickness as the real one. It felt and looked the same. Unfortunately, the counterfeiters have become very skilled and are now infiltrating major online marketplaces such as Amazon, eBay, and even Walmart. If you search for the SM7B microphone on eBay, you'll find hundreds of results, and every single one of them is a fake. Chinese sellers have flooded these platforms with counterfeit products, often selling hundreds before they are finally taken down by the platform. However, this doesn't stop the same sellers from creating new accounts and continuing their illegal activities. Walmart has also allowed third-party sellers to sell on their site to compete with Amazon, which has led to an influx of counterfeit products from Chinese sellers. I made a joke about this the last time, but it's no funny matter. Shure was forced to lower the price of their SM7B microphone due to lost business from counterfeiters stealing their customers. Despite the microphone's popularity and demand, the counterfeiters are taking away business from the legitimate brand and hurting the overall economy. They lure customers in with slightly cheaper prices that seem like a good deal, but not low enough to raise suspicion. They sell low-quality trash that not only steals your money, but also leaves you with an inferior product. It's sickening to see how many listings there are selling fake microphones for $280 to $400, fooling countless customers who leave positive reviews and unknowingly help the scam continue. Buying fake products is never a good idea. In recent years, more people are turning to cheaper, low-quality options, which has forced real brands to address the issue. They have had to reduce the quality of their products to compete with counterfeiters, which is not good for anyone. Choosing a microphone is a lot like choosing a camera. Any camera can capture an image and communicate a message just as any microphone can capture audio. For most practical purposes, the finer details don't matter as much as the overall delivery, especially when your content is going to YouTube. YouTube's compression heavily alters audio quality, flattening out subtle differences between microphones and making expensive equipment seem less distinct. This is where psychological concepts begin to influence purchasing decisions. Once you start looking into microphones, you suddenly see the SM7B everywhere. Its repeated visibility reinforces the idea that it must be the best or most professional option, even if it's not the right fit for your needs. The SM7B's association with professional creators and high-quality content creates an aura of perfection around it. People assume that if their favorite podcaster or musician uses it, they'll achieve the same results, ignoring the other factors like mixing, mastering, and environment. When a product becomes a staple for influencers and professionals, it validates its credibility. The SM7B's ubiquity on YouTube, Twitch, and podcasts creates the impression that it's a must-have, driving people to buy it just to feel part of the in crowd. Many consumers anchor their perception of quality and value on price. The SM7B's higher price tag compared to budget microphones leads people to assume it's inherently superior, even though a properly used $100 microphone can achieve comparable results in many situations. Beginners often feel insecure about their gear choices, worrying that not owning the SM7B will make their content seem less professional. This fear of missing out drives purchases, even if a more affordable microphone would perform just as well for their use case. The Shure name carries weight in the audio world, leading many to trust it implicitly without comparing it to other options. This brand prestige can overshadow objective evaluations of performance or suitability. Counterfeit capitalize on the mic's popularity by looking nearly identical to the real thing. Buyers may be drawn to these fakes because they want the prestige of owning an SM7B without the cost. Even when the counterfeit doesn't sound or perform as well, the visual similarity can trick the brain into believing it's just as good. After spending a significant amount on a microphone like the SM7B, people are more likely to justify their purchase by convincing themselves it sounds better than it actually does. This can lead to overhyping the product to others and even doubling down on expensive accessories to unlock its potential. The reality is that microphones, much like other tools, are subjective and situational. With a bit of software tweaking and proper technique, nearly any microphone can produce high-quality results. For most users, the focus should be less on chasing the perfect mic and more on understanding your specific needs and maximizing the tools you have. In the end, don't let psychological tricks like branding, trends, or biases dictate your purchasing decisions. Whether it's microphones or any other gear, critical thinking and a clear understanding of your goals will lead to smarter, more satisfying choices. Imagine you're new to the world of microphones. You don't know much about the different brands and models, but you do know that you want to sound good when you record your podcast or music. You hear Joe Rogan's voice and think, I want to sound like that. So you search for the same microphone he uses, a Shure SM7B, but when you see the price tag, your heart sinks. It's way too expensive, especially when you factor in all the other equipment you need to run it. That's when you turn to the internet, where you find a website offering the same microphone for 60 to 70% off retail price. You don't know much about fakes, so you assume this is a great deal. Others may know it's a fake, but they just want the visual appeal of the SM7B. They don't care about quality or how it sounds. They just want to look the part. Whether you're going for looks or your first microphone, the price may sucker you in, but soon enough you'll regret it. When you try to use the fake mic, it will start to sound terrible. It may pick up too much noise or have other issues. You'll realize that you've been duped. So you decide you want more than just looks. You want the real thing. You go to eBay or another site and search for a good deal. Finally, you decide to make that large purchase, and when you receive the microphone, it sounds better than the fake. You think you've made the right decision, but in reality, all you're hearing is a better fake. You're missing out on the real thing. What's frustrating is that you've fallen into their trap over and over again. First, you paid half the retail price for a fake. Then, when you finally decided to buy the real thing, you spent the same or slightly less than retail, only to receive the exact same fake that has slightly better parts. This is what happens when you support fakes. They steal your ability to purchase an authentic product. It's not just a matter of getting ripped off. Counterfeit goods hurt the economy and put people's health and safety at risk. Many fake Shure microphones are made in China, where manufacturers cut corners to maximize profits. They use low-quality materials, ignore safety standards, and violate intellectual property laws. These fakes not only hurt the legitimate businesses that make and sell authentic Shure products, but they also pose a danger to consumers who may be exposed to faulty or poorly made products. So before you buy a Shure SM7B or any other product, do your research. So first I'll be speaking on the real mic, and then we'll move on to the fake. What makes this fake so dangerous is how convincing it is. It uses the same capsule as the cheaper counterfeit, but upgrades a few parts to improve the sound. Without a direct comparison or being familiar with how the real SM7B looks and sounds, it's easy to fall for the scam. The SM7B needs a good audio interface with good preamps to work well. If you're looking for something simple without needing to mess around with the mixing, the Rodecaster Duo is a great option. It's usually priced between $400 to $500, and you can sometimes find it cheaper used on Amazon. When you plug in the fake mic into the Rodecaster and use the SM7B preset, it sounds surprisingly close to the real thing. Unless you're replacing a broken SM7B or adding a second one, you probably wouldn't suspect it's a fake just from the sound. The real SM7B does have more bass and a cleaner overall tone, but the difference is subtle and only obvious when you compare them side by side. The fake is convincing enough that people often pay full price without realizing they've been duped. You'd be surprised to know how many YouTubers have a fake SM7B and don't even know it. While the sound quality is decent and some might say usable, it's sold at nearly the same price as the real SM7B or just slightly cheaper to make it seem legit. In reality, the same microphone is sold in China for under $100. From there, it's brought into Western markets through platforms like eBay and Walmart, where unsuspecting buyers think they're getting the real thing. There is a big difference between a cheap knockoff that looks like the real thing but sounds terrible and this enhanced fake. The cheaper version is sold at a lower price and you would know it's fake right away. But this enhanced version is tuned to sound better and sold for $400 or more, tricking people who just want a genuine SM7B. The truth is, the real SM7B sounds much better, is built to a higher standard, and lasts much longer. The fake, on the other hand, won't hold up over time.